A lot of reaction across the pond after former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson claimed Queen Elizabeth II had bone cancer. Johnson making those claims in his upcoming memoir that hits the shelves next week. He says he knew about the cancer for about a year. Buckingham Palace has never said that the Queen had cancer and only that she died of old age. Well, joining me now is Afia Hagan, CTV royal commentator. Afia, thanks so much for your time. What's your reaction to these comments from Boris Johnson's book?
Well, these comments have been serialised by the Daily Mail newspaper. His biography has, rather. It's out next week on the 10th of October. And yes, you're absolutely right in saying he talks about how he'd known that the Queen had bone cancer for about a year. And he also sort of details his last meeting with her, in which he said that she looked quite frail, that she had bruising on her hand, probably from treatments or injections. And there has been a lot of reaction to this. I mean, there kind of had been rumours before that perhaps she did have some sort of cancer and that it wasn't necessarily old age, which was her cause of death, even though that's what was listed on her death certificate. And, we have had prime ministers before who have talked about, their meetings with the Queen, their dealings with the Queen, Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, but never before have we had this level of detail that we're getting from Boris Johnson in this biography.
It's an incredibly private detail that he shared, if it is indeed true. It was put on the Queen's death certificate that she passed from old age, as we mentioned, and that forms a historical record. Do these revelations now bring that into doubt?
It does. To be honest, it absolutely does. Now, there's two camps here. There's the camp of, do we believe what Boris Johnson is telling us, knowing that he's told us a few porkies before when he was Prime Minister. But then there's also the camp that think, well, perhaps she did have bone cancer, but didn't want to say it. It's only more recently that we have had the royals who have been a little bit more transparent about their health. We've had King Charles III talking about his prostate treatment and then his cancer. We've had the Princess of Wales talking about her preventative chemotherapy. Now, neither of them have gone into the minutiae and gone into the real detail about their illnesses and about the treatments they have been having. And when they've been pressed on it, they've said, well, we want to raise awareness around cancer, around preventative chemotherapy, but won't go into more detail. And I suppose it's more recently, that transparency or a level of transparency have been reached. When it comes to Queen Elizabeth II, when it came to her health, we knew virtually nothing. We knew when she had COVID, we knew when she had what was labelled as mobility problems, and like you said, old age listed on her death certificate. And so there will be people now thinking that perhaps there was things along the way that we didn't know about, that we weren't told about. And so yes, you're right in saying this is a historical record. Her death certificate is. Could it be inaccurate?
Yeah, the royal family is notoriously private, but as you just alluded to, they are now starting to open up a little bit in regards to Princess Kate and King Charles. Are we likely to hear any comment from Buckingham Palace about these revelations?
Oh, absolutely not. Especially when it comes to biographies about the royal family or anything that's written in a book, they never comment on things like that. Look, if they didn't comment on Spare by Prince Harry, they're certainly not going to comment on Boris Johnson's book. So we shouldn't expect them to address this in any way, shape or form.
All right, Afia Hagan, CTV's royal commentator, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.